I still remember the day I met Helen Johnson. She was 82, sharp-minded, fiercely independent, with a spark in her eyes that refused to dim. Her son had brought her into my office after she'd had a minor fall in the garden. No broken bones, thank God, but something about that moment deeply unsettled her. "I couldn't get up," she whispered, almost ashamed. "I just laid there on the grass, like I didn't belong to my own body anymore." She looked away as she said it. That fall didn't just bruise her hip, it bruised her spirit, and it broke my heart. After 50 years working with older adults, I've heard stories like Helen's more times than I can count. Stories filled with small moments, subtle warnings that too often go ignored. A missed step, trouble lifting a grocery bag, difficulty remembering a name or why you walked into a room, a vague sense of shrinking from life. I'm Dr. Richard Palmer. I've dedicated 5 decades of my life to studying senior health and functional aging. I've worked in hospitals, clinics, nursing homes, and private practices across the country. But more importantly, I've listened to thousands of voices just like Helen's. And what they've taught me is this: aging isn't the enemy. Disuse is. You see, most people assume that after 70, decline is inevitable, that weakness, forgetfulness, and dependency are just part of getting old. But that's simply not true. In fact, much of what we think of as normal aging is really avoidable deterioration, caused not by time, but by inaction. And you might recognize the signs. Maybe you've caught yourself struggling to stand up from a low chair. Maybe carrying groceries feels harder than it used to. Maybe stairs seem steeper these days, or names slip away too quickly from memory. Perhaps most silently, you've started to wonder, why do I even bother getting out of bed anymore? These aren't just minor annoyances. They're warning lights, early signals that your independence and even your longevity might be at risk. Let me tell you another story. John Walker, 79, had always been a tough guy. Navy veteran, carpenter for 40 years. But when he came in, he confessed something surprising. "Doc, I get winded just walking up the stairs. I used to carry plywood up 2 flights without blinking. Now I feel like I'm climbing a mountain." We ran some simple tests. Nothing invasive, no big machines, just a few movements. What we found was eye-opening, not just for him, but for his family. His legs had weakened, his grip strength had declined, and his heart was working overtime with the smallest exertion. Here's the thing, John wasn't sick. He hadn't had a heart attack. His problem wasn't a disease, it was disuse. And he's not alone. Research shows that after 70, the body begins to lose muscle mass, bone density, balance, coordination, and cognitive sharpness only if you stop challenging it. Your body isn't a machine wearing down. It's a living, adapting system. And when it's used less, it gives less. Some seniors think, well, I'm not as young as I used to be, I should slow down. And while yes, pacing yourself is wise, doing less isn't always safer. It can actually be more dangerous. Many well-meaning people turn to solutions that only make the problem worse. They rely more on assistive devices, avoid stairs, use carts instead of carrying light items, or disengage from mental challenges. They take more pills, thinking that medication will solve what movement no longer supports. They assume memory loss is irreversible, that purpose fades after retirement, that decline is a one-way street. But let me be clear, none of that is true. There's a better path, one that doesn't require intense workouts, strict diets, or expensive programs. A path rooted in everyday actions, small things that reveal everything about how well you're aging and how much control you still have. I'm here to make this simple. You don't need to be a fitness expert. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to take a few small tests and then act on what they reveal. Because hidden in those basic actions are clues, powerful insights into your strength, your mobility, your cognition, and your longevity. Imagine knowing today whether your current habits are setting you up for thriving independence or for slow, preventable decline. That's what I want to give you. Not just information, but hope, and more importantly, clarity. These 5 simple assessments I'm about to show you can change the way you look at aging, because they'll show you exactly where you stand and exactly how to improve starting now. But I can't do it alone. I need your help. If you find this message valuable, please share it with someone you care about, a friend, a spouse, a parent, because most people over 70 will never hear this, not from their doctors, not from their caregivers, and certainly not from society. Let's change that. You deserve to live with strength, purpose, and dignity, not just for years to come, but with quality in each of those years. Let's make sure you're part of the 5% who thrive, not just survive. Now, let me walk you through the 5 essential signs that will show you where you are and what to do next, because aging well isn't a mystery, it's a choice. And that choice starts here. 1. The floor test, the foundation of functional independence. It may seem like a simple movement, sitting down on the floor and getting back up, but this one act speaks volumes about your overall health. I've watched countless seniors attempt it only to realize how much they've lost without even noticing. And yet those who can still do it, they're almost always the ones living actively, independently, and with confidence. The ability to get up from the floor without support engages nearly every system in your body. Your legs provide the power, your core gives you control, your joints offer flexibility, and your balance keeps everything steady. When even one of these areas begins to weaken, what used to be effortless becomes uncertain, and that uncertainty quietly chips away at your freedom. Most people don't think much about the floor until they avoid it altogether. No more playing with grandkids on the carpet, no stretching or getting down to pick something up. It becomes a space associated with fear. What if I can't get back up? But here's the good news. You can rebuild this skill. Start by sitting on a padded surface like a yoga mat or soft carpet. Lower yourself slowly. Then, with care, try to stand back up using as little assistance as possible. If you struggle, that's not failure. It's feedback, and it means you've identified something worth strengthening. Practice this daily. Even a few minutes a day can reignite your balance, coordination, and strength. Because the moment you stop getting up is the moment you start slowing down. And you, my friend, are not meant to fade. You are meant to rise, steadier, stronger, and fully in control. 2. The power in your hand, a window into whole body health. Take a moment to pick up a bag of groceries, a small laundry basket, or even a half-gallon of water. How does it feel in your hand? Are your fingers firm and steady, or do they tremble a little under the weight? What might surprise you is that your grip strength, that simple ability to hold on to something, is one of the strongest indicators of your overall health and longevity. In fact, study after study has shown that lower grip strength is directly linked to higher risks of heart disease, cognitive decline, mobility issues, and even early mortality. Why is something so small so significant? Because your hand is part of a larger system. Carrying an object doesn't just involve your fingers. It activates your forearms, shoulders, back, core, and legs. When your grip weakens, it's rarely an isolated problem. It's often a sign that your whole body is losing strength. And here's where it matters most: everyday life. Opening a jar, holding a grandchild's hand, lifting a pan from the stove. Without strength in your hands, basic independence begins to slip through your fingers, quite literally. The good news? It's not too late to turn this around. Start with small steps. Squeeze a softball for a few minutes each day. Use light hand weights or resistance bands. Carry your groceries instead of pushing a cart. Practice and your confidence will return with your strength. Remember, this isn't about becoming a bodybuilder, it's about keeping your grip, not just on objects, but on life itself. Because when you hold on to strength, you hold on to freedom. And that's something worth carrying with you every single day. 3. The stairway test. What a few steps reveal about your heart. A staircase might seem like just another part of your home, but to me it's one of the most honest health assessments you can take. Can you climb a flight of stairs without stopping, without clutching the railing, and without gasping for breath at the top? If so, that's a powerful sign your heart, lungs, and legs are still working in strong coordination. You see, stairs aren't just steps. They're a built-in cardiovascular test. Climbing activates large muscle groups, increases your heart rate, and challenges your balance, all within a few seconds. If something is off, whether it's shortness of breath, shaky knees, or muscle fatigue, it's often your body's way of sounding the alarm. Sadly, many seniors begin to avoid stairs as they age. At first, it's subtle, taking the elevator instead, sleeping on the main floor, or rearranging life to eliminate steps. And while that might seem safer, it actually accelerates decline. Why? Because when we stop using our muscles and our lungs, we start losing them. But this too is reversible. Start small. If a full flight is too much, try a few steps a day. Use a step stool for gentle up and down movements. Practice sit-to-stand exercises from a firm chair to strengthen your legs and build endurance. Each small effort adds up. Remember, you don't need to conquer mountains, you just need to keep climbing in your own life. Because when you stop avoiding stairs, you start reclaiming strength. And with every step forward, you're not just training your body, you're proving to yourself that your journey is far from over. Stairs aren't obstacles, they're opportunities. 4. Memory that moves you. Keeping your mind sharp and engaged. Your mind is your greatest asset. It holds your memories, your wisdom, your identity. And just like your muscles, it needs regular movement to stay strong. Too often we dismiss forgetfulness as an unavoidable part of aging. Misplacing keys, struggling to recall names, or forgetting why we entered a room becomes just how it is. But I want you to hear this clearly. While some cognitive change with age is normal, significant decline is not inevitable. It's often a result of disuse, not age itself. Here's a simple challenge. Try remembering 5 unrelated words after a minute's pause. It may feel easy or surprisingly tricky. Either way, it gives insight into your brain's ability to hold and retrieve information, which is a powerful reflection of your mental fitness. But don't stop there. The brain thrives on variety and challenge. Learn something new, a recipe, a word in another language, a card game you've never played. Read a book that stretches your thinking. Engage in conversations that go deeper than small talk. Even physical activity boosts brain function by improving circulation and reducing inflammation. A brisk walk, gentle stretching, or balance exercises can all contribute to clearer thinking. The most mentally sharp people I know in their 70s, 80s, and beyond all share one thing. They stay curious. They ask questions. They solve problems. They keep learning, not because they have to, but because they choose to. So give your brain what it craves: attention, stimulation, and variety. Because when your memory stays active, your spirit stays alive. And with every new idea, every remembered detail, and every meaningful interaction, you're not just staying sharp, you're staying connected to the world around you. And that connection is what keeps your life vibrant. 5. The power of purpose. Why meaning keeps you alive. If there's one force more powerful than medicine, more restorative than exercise, and more uplifting than any supplement, it's this: a sense of purpose. Over my 50 years working with older adults, I've seen something remarkable. Those who live with purpose, no matter their age or physical condition, tend to live longer, feel better, and stay sharper. It's not a coincidence, it's biology. Purpose gives us direction, it gives us momentum. And that momentum sustains life. You see, when people retire or lose a partner, or when children grow up and routines change, it's easy to start drifting. Days blend together. Motivation fades. And without something meaningful to look forward to, the body slows down. The mind grows quieter. The spark dims. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Purpose isn't reserved for the young or the busy. You can find it or rediscover it at any age. It might come from volunteering, mentoring, sharing your wisdom, creating something, nurturing a garden, writing your story, or simply being present for someone who needs you. Your life still matters, profoundly. When you wake up with a reason, everything else begins to align. You move more. You think more clearly. You smile more, and studies back this up. Seniors with a strong sense of purpose experience lower rates of depression, better physical health, and greater longevity. So ask yourself, not what should I do now, but what still lights me up? Because purpose is not about productivity, it's about meaning. And when your life has meaning, your days gain color, your steps gain energy, and your heart gains strength. Purpose doesn't just add years to your life, it adds life to your years. Conclusion: your best years are not behind you. If you've made it this far, I want you to pause and take a breath, not in hesitation, but in pride. You've just taken the first and most important step toward reclaiming your strength, your independence, and your sense of purpose. You've seen now that aging isn't defined by the number on your birth certificate. It's shaped by your daily choices, your willingness to move, to think, to feel, and to care. The 5 simple tests we explored today are not just physical tasks or mental exercises, they're reflections of how well you're engaging with life. Whether it's rising from the floor with confidence, carrying a bag without fear, climbing stairs with strength, remembering details with clarity, or waking up with something to live for, you have the power to improve every single one of these. And you don't have to do it all at once. Start where you are. One small action each day. One gentle challenge. One courageous decision to keep going. Remember, most people over 70 are told to slow down, step back, and expect less of themselves. But I'm telling you the opposite. Expect more. Not in pressure, but in possibility. You are still capable of change, still worthy of strength, still filled with potential. So take this message and carry it forward. Share it with a friend, encourage a neighbor, inspire someone you love. Because the truth is, only a small percentage of seniors take these steps, but you can be one of them. And if you are, your life won't just continue, it will thrive. Your next chapter isn't about decline, it's about defiance, determination, and deep fulfillment. And it begins right now. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.